Yo, what is good, everybody? I'm your boy Jiro, and this is my leveling guide for Sorcerer in Diablo 4 for Season 4. Let's get right into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about here is the three main aspects that you need to make this build pop off. Now, the first aspect I want to talk about here is the Flamethrowers aspect. And this allows Incinerate, our core ability, to split into 3 different beams. And it also increases the damage that Incinerate does. And we're going to put this over on our necklace piece. And the second aspect we're going to talk about here is the aspect of conflagration, and this increases the burning damage Incinerate does. And we're going to put this over on our one-handed weapon. And the last fundamental aspect we're going to talk about here is the aspect of engulfing flames. And this aspect allows us to do increased damage to burning enemies below 50% of health, and additionally we do extra damage if they're already burning. And we're going to put this aspect on our offhand focus piece. As for defensive aspects, we're going to Juggernaut's aspect and we're putting this on our chest piece. This gives us a flat armor increase, and armor reduces the damage we take. Well guys, that does it for all the fundamental aspects. Let's move on to the primary and secondary skills next. Okay guys, here we are at the skill tree, and for our basic ability, we're going Firebolt. Now you're only going to be using Firebolt till about level 35, and I'll show you what move you replace Firebolt with later. Now moving down to our core abilities, we're going Incinerate, and we're going the version of Incinerate that immobilizes our enemies. Now you guys notice I went Fireball here too, and I'll explain more on that later. Moving down to our defensive abilities, guys, we want all the smoke with the defensive abilities. So we're going Flame Shield, and we're going the version of Flame Shield that when it's procced, it heals us. Then we're also going to go Teleport just for the Unstoppable proc. And then we're going to go Ice Armor, and the version of Ice Armor that reduces its own cooldown for every 50 mana we spend. Now moving down to our Conjure spells, we're going Hydra, and we're going the version of Hydra that increases the burn damage we deal. And moving down to our Mastery skills, we're taking no Mastery abilities. And then moving down to the ultimate skills, we're going Inferno. And then moving down to our key passive, we're going Combustion just to increase the damage we deal to burning enemies. Alright guys, so that's primary skills. Let's move on to those secondary skills next. Now moving on to our secondary skills, we're putting a full 3 in Fiery Surge to help us with our resource management. Then we're putting a full 3 into Endless Pyre to increase the damage we deal to burning enemies. Then we're putting a full 3 into Soulfire to reduce the mana cost of our Pyromancy skills, which are our fire skills. But we're also increasing the damage to those fire skills. Moving up the ladder, we're putting a full 3 into Inner Flames to increase the damage we deal with our Pyromancy skills. Now moving up the ladder again, we're putting a full 3 into Conjuration Mastery. Now this increases our damage, our movement speed, and our mana regeneration while we have our Hydras out. Now we're only going to put 1 point into Align the Elements here, but what we really want is Mana Shield and Protection. Now Mana Shield's awesome because every time we spend mana and we're channeling it with Incinerate, so we're spending a crazy amount of mana, we get damage reduction. And we're going to put a full 3 into Mana Shield. And then we're putting a full 3 into Protection for extra survivability. Now moving up to our defensive skills, we're putting a full 3 in Glass Cannon to increase the damage we deal, however we take more damage. And then we're going to put a full 3 into Elemental Attunement, so every time that we critically strike, we reduce the cooldown of all our defensive skills. And guys, the move that we're replacing Firebolt with is Hydra. By level 35, we should be at a point where we're regenerating mana so quickly that we don't need a basic ability anymore. Now if you guys want to head over to Mobalytics and go check out the build there, it's called the Overcooked Sorc build. And on Mobalytics, I have everything from the skill tree to the Paragon board and all the aspects that you need to make this build work. And I'll also include a link to Mobalytics in the description and in the comments. Alright guys, so that does it for all the primary and secondary skills and the Mobalytics plug. Let's move on to that Paragon board next. Alright guys, so as for the Paragon board, I'm going to keep this nice and simple. All you want to do is carve your way all the way to the glyph socket on the first board. And then as for the second board, the board that you want to go is the Enhancement Master board. As for our first glyph, we're going the Elementalist glyph. And the Elementalist glyph will increase the damage we deal with Incinerate. Now guys, on the second board, work your way to the glyph socket, and the glyph socket we're going here is Pyromaniac. And this increases the damage to Incinerate the longer we channel Incinerate. Alright guys, so that's the Paragon board. Let's move on to those enhancements next. Alright guys, so as for the Sorcerer Enhancements, we're simply going the Fireball Enhancement and the Firebolt Enhancement. And this is why we went Fireball on our skill tree. So with the Fireball Enhancement, every time we murk an enemy, it's going to cause a Fireball explosion. And the reason we're going the Firebolt Enhancement is because it furthers the burning damage we deal. Alright guys, so that does it for the enhancements for the Sorcerer. Let's go over some quick tips for Season 4 next. Alright guys, so you know in every seasonal adventure that we go on, there's always a seasonal progression bar. And on this bar, it rewards us with Smoldering Ashes. Now when you go over to your Seasonal Blessings tab, the first thing I suggest you put those ashes into is the Urn of Aggression. The Urn of Aggression will simply increase the experience you gain by 20%. And the next urn you should invest into is the Urn of Iron. And this increases the reputation gains you get with the Iron Wolves for Season 4. And guys, my second tip here, speaking of the Iron Wolves, is I highly suggest you do the reputation grind with the Iron Wolves. The items that the Iron Wolves reward you are pretty significant, and you get some pretty sweet gear that come with the aspects that you need to make these builds come together. So if you want to level up quick, I highly suggest that you do the reputation grind and spend majority of your time in the Helltides. Now, the third tip I want to mention here while you're leveling up in the Helltides, they also have Helltide objectives, which reward you Grim Favor. And another way to level up fast is by flipping your Grim Favor at the Tree of Whispers. So you'll be doubling down on the XP you're getting not only from the Helltide, but the XP that you're getting from the Tree of Whispers. My fourth tip here, guys, is for the consumables. Don't forget to use your potions. Whether you're getting 8% or 5%, you get a crazy amount of potions while you're leveling up in Diablo 4. So make sure to use these every time you're out there grinding. And guys, don't be shy to do the Nightmare Dungeons either. If you're getting a little bored of Helltide grinding, you can simply just go and craft sigils and go into the Nightmare Dungeons. But like I do in all my videos, we're going to go into the Helltide in World Tier 4 with only Sacred Armor on. Alright guys, here we are in the Helltide, World Tier 4, all Sacreds on. I usually do the Blood Maiden. Hopefully it comes up while I'm doing this explanation. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys this time that you could also just collect cinders and do the regular grind without having to fight the Blood Maiden. And with this build, you could literally stand in one spot and let all the minions come to you. You proc stuff like your ice armor, you could proc your ultimate to pull them towards you, and you can literally just melt everything. Now guys, this is the objective I'm talking about. It's called the Hellspire. So what you simply do is you activate it, and especially with this build, it's going to be awesome. I can literally just stand here and incinerate. Just make sure I keep my flame shield up and my ice shield up so I don't get murked. Make sure you have your on your potions. But yeah, you can literally just sit here and incinerate. Alright, I might have just procced a little bit too soon there. But yeah, you can literally just stand here and cook your enemies. See if we can do it. Oh no, it got too hot, guys. Had to get out of there. But as you can see, lots of cinders gained, lots of experience gained. We leveled up. Good deal. But what kind of video would this be if I didn't go into the dopamine tunnels and demonstrate some wave clear and single target damage next? So here we are in the dope tunnels, guys, and I got Sacreds on. This is World Tier 4, and I'm going to demonstrate some wave clear next. Simple stuff, guys. Just, you know, stay in one spot, hit your incinerate, go nuts. Ooh, here's a good pack here, guys. So we're gonna summon our Hydras here, and then we're just gonna spin to win like the Barbarian, and just melt everything on the screen. Oh, look who showed up! It's been a while, Butcher. It's been a while. It's been a long time since you showed up in one of my videos, Butcher. A long time. You thought I wasn't ready, bro? Thought I wasn't ready, eh, Butcher? You want all the smoke. Good night. Easy money. Alright, guys, that was the Butcher. I can't make that stuff up, but he hasn't showed up in a guide that I've done in a long time. Alright, guys, here's some mega wave clear. It's actually crazy to watch. So here we are. We're at the end of the dopamine tunnels, and I'm going to demonstrate some single target damage next. Here we go. Teleport in. We're going to drop our ult there. We're going to start dropping our Hydras, and we're just going to sit here and let them burn. We got to channel it, though, right? Because it does more damage the longer it's channeled. And we're about, like, you know, medium steak right here. We're almost well done. And cooked. Perfect. So that was some World Tier 4 wave clear and single target damage, and even the Butcher made an appearance. But let's go over that build summary next. So guys, as for the aspects, I'll chapter it in this video, and you can go back there and check that out. As for our skills, don't forget we're only going Firebolt to about level 35, and then that's going to be overtaken by Hydra. But we're going to go Incinerate as our core ability, and then we're going to get all the defensive skills. So we want Flame Shield, we want Ice Armor, and we want Teleport. And as for our ultimate ability, we're going Inferno. And as for the enhancements, we're going the Fireball enhancement and the Firebolt enhancement. And guys, as for the Paragon board, I'll also chapter that for you in this video, but you can also go over to Mobalytics and check out the whole build there. Well guys, that does it for the build summary. I only have one question for you guys. I have 2 classes left to do, Rogue and Druid. Let me know down in the comments which class you want to see me do a leveling guide for next. Well, that does it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and don't worry about liking and subscribing. If you simply enjoyed today's video or brought you any kind of value, that's all I could ask for. Thank you so much. I'm your boy Jadiro, sign out for now. Peace.